So today we are going to open up what I'm tempted to call a vintage Star Wars set, but I'm not because that's just going to make me feel old. This 3D Cantina diorama is a little beat up. As you can see, the guns falling out from the figure window. The box is kind of beat up. There's remnants of a price tag on there. But for it being over 20 years old, it's still in pretty decent shape. But that still means I want to open it because this is one of those sets that I remember seeing as a kid that I always really wanted because I fell in love with the Cantina scene in the original Star Wars movie and always have loved that part. Just partially because of the Tales from the Mos Eisley Cantina book by Kevin J. Anderson just helped flesh out all these cool and interesting and kind of creepy characters. So this is one that I've always wanted to open. I've been hoping Hasbro would do something in the modern line for it, and yeah, they've made some pieces to the Cantina bar, but they haven't really done anything diorama-wise yet. Maybe they'll get to it this year. They did just do a Cantina from The Mandalorian, so they seem to be selling since they keep making them. So maybe they'll get around to doing one similar to this style, but this one, just in size alone, I don't think they'll ever get around to matching that unless it becomes like a HasLab exclusive kind of thing. Anyway, this is kind of mostly looks like it's made out of cardboard, so it's going to be an interesting thing to piece together. We'll see what the final product looks. So let's open it up and check out this hive of scum and villainy. And here we have the 3D pop-up Cantina. And honestly, that was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I figured it was going to be just several pieces, all needing to be stuck together through slots and pins and everything. But no, it folded out almost like a pop-up book, and it was really simple to put it together. And I like that it's going to be pretty simple to fold back in and store too, so that's also a nice touch. This set was released in 1998, so one of the fun things on the back of the box is that neat little teaser for Star Wars Episode 1 that was going to be coming out the following year, boasting a bunch of new characters, planets, and vehicles. So that's just kind of a fun little nostalgia trip seeing that. They did two of these, actually. There was another one for Jabba's Palace that had the same basic concept. That one came with a Han Solo and Carbonite. This one comes with a Sand Trooper, Stormtrooper, whatever you want to call him. And he has one of the droids from the special editions that were added in 1997 that's attached to his back. Fairly simple. He's not quite as buff and muscular as the predecessors before them. At this point, they were already starting to phase those out and get to the more realistic proportion figures and not the He-Man buff ones. So this one doesn't look too weird next to the more modern Stormtroopers, but he's still a little bit more top-heavy than expected. The paint job is okay, the sculpt is alright. He's got the bare basics of articulation. He's got shoulders, hips, and head, and that's it. The droid does pop out of the back if you don't want to pose him with it. But otherwise, for the time he was made and how old he is, it's not a bad figure. He's got a pretty decent pose that you can set him in holding that gun, and he looks pretty decent. I don't hate him, and like I said, there are a lot more worse figures that came out during that time. Though obviously by today's standards, this is not the most ideal setup for collectors. It's made from a fairly cheap and flimsy material. The accuracy is not very close. The display in the middle is obviously all solid cardboard, so it's nothing you can look through, and some of it holds together better than other parts. But for the time and it being 20 years old, I think it was a very clever setup, and it was executed pretty flawlessly. Honestly, I don't have much to complain about it. I also like that the back has detail. It's not just a blank thing. It's got the outside of the cantina on it, so that's a nice kind of clever touch for something most people wouldn't even see. It is decently large. It's not going to fit on any of these shelves back here. So if you buy these cheap shelves from Walmart, it's not going to fit on there. You're going to have to put it someplace else. But if you need something cheap to display your figures on, then this is not a bad option. It's not gone up in price a whole lot despite its age. It sits at around just under $30 on most aftermarket places that I looked. So yeah, it's not a bad option if you want to put your figures in something that looks nice. Now, keeping with the holiday season, I have another Lego seasonal set. The other one from this year is the Santa's Visit set. I'm going to be putting this one together. It's going to look nice next to the rest of my Winter Village setup. And we'll see if that Santa sleigh I opened and built last time sits on the roof all right. Until then, stay safe. Happy hunting.